And we're back. Sorry for the delay. I was originally going to do these videos like every day, and I plan on doing that. But right after the second video, I went through what I can only describe as a sad spell, which, if you're curious, and maybe this happens to you if you have depression as well, it's just like, you just get into this mode of just like, or at least for me, just like everything is, to describe it as boring is like almost an understatement. It's not that it's boring, it's just that like nothing can hold your interest like at all. Like you can't, like, I'd sleep for 10 to 12 hours because one of the side effects of depression, at least for me, is that I sleep way too much whenever it's bad, which is also a result of like other stuff, but I'll get into that in a different video. But like the big thing is, I guess like, so I would wake up and I'd be like, okay, let's play video games or something. And I'd do that. And like within 5 minutes, I'm like wanting to pull my eyes out. Let's do anything else. And so then I'd go do something else. And then 5 minutes into that, exact same thing. And I just get into that mode sometimes where just like nothing can hold my interest. Nothing. I mean, to even describe it as holding interest implies that I was interested in doing it in the first place. Like, I'm not interested in doing anything. Like, literally, nothing I do can, like, I don't know, get me involved in it. You know, like, I can't. So anyway, it's hard for me to describe it other than just, like, a complete, like, basically perpetual boredom. Like, I get in a state where like nothing I do is entertaining in the slightest bit or distracting in the slightest bit. Everything I do is like pulling teeth, not wanting to do it, you know? And so it goes on, and then during this period is also always when like my worst suicidal thoughts come about, of just like literally most of the nights these past like I think it's been about 2 weeks have just been like, just I have said literally, like, just whispered to myself, just kill yourself. And it's like, obviously it's just like, it just comes from that like extreme boredom. And I feel like boredom is not the right word to describe it, but I can't think of any other word to describe it. It's just a complete lack of just like any interest whatsoever, you know? And so you get to that point whenever you're feeling that way all day, every day, you're just like, I just want this to stop. I want this numbness to stop, you know? And so the only way you can think to do it, or at least the only way I can think to do it, is just like, well, if I'm dead, then it'll go away. It'll go away, and then I won't feel this way anymore. Awesome, let's do that. And you know, and so obviously still alive, still kicking, because that's not my first rodeo of dealing with it. As I've said in previous videos, I've had depression for like most of my life, so I'm used to this, you know? So, today, since I'm kind of, like, coming off of this, like, on the edge moment that I've been at for the last 2 weeks, I was like, you know what? Why don't I just cover the techniques I use? And so I'm going to call this video, Ways Not to Kill Yourself. So far. Yeah, and I am going to be this excited and cheeky about it because fuck you. I can act however I want. It's my video. And also, at this point, it's just, like I get for other people, it's like, oh, this is such a serious topic. Like, it's a serious topic, but whenever you're, like, feeling this way 24/7, it's whatever. Maybe I'll be alive tomorrow, maybe I won't. You know, it's just, you lose care about it. At least I have. So, I thought I'd start out by I thought I'd cover just like some tips and tricks that I have developed over the years to stop the thoughts, or at the very least, hold them at bay. Because if I'm being honest, tip number 1 is, I don't know if you can stop them, you know? You can distract yourself from them to some degree by doing other stuff, but like I said, like this last week, sometimes you just can't distract yourself, you know? Sometimes you're just going to be thinking this crap and it won't go away no matter what. So, you need other techniques. I mean, obviously, distracting yourself is it's a good method most of the time, you know? But, so one of the things I use, and I think I'm going to cover this first, and I will admit it's also like my number 1 primary defense, is I have a mental pros and cons to killing myself, right? I haven't written it on paper ever because someone finding it would be horrifying to explain to them, you know? Especially when they see what the pros and cons are, because I'm going to get into it in a second, but it's just like some of them are really dumb, you know? But so the concept of this, I came up with a long time ago. As I had mentioned before, I've been suicidal since I was like 9 years old, you know? So this is the method so I basically attempted suicide like 3 times before I was the age of 12, and at 12 is when I developed the first system of, I was like, I need to come up with a way to not dead myself, or at the very least not want to dead myself as much. And so, the method I came up with was this pros and cons list, which is, okay, don't think about anything. Let's have a very, logical, or as logical as you can be, discussion of why you want to kill yourself and why you don't want to kill yourself. And write it down if it helps you. Otherwise, for me, I just do it in my head, as I said. Just, think about it. So, pro things to kill yourself are just, every little grievance you have about your life. Every single one, you know? You didn't get your favorite ice cream today. You know? You didn't have the courage to talk to that girl or whatever. Just any little tiny inconvenience. Your room's a little bit dirtier than you want it to be. Everything, from big things to small things. Just any little grievance you have with your life, think about it. Make a list of it. And have that in the reasons to kill yourself. You know, it does not matter how small, how big, how trivial, whatever. Just every little thing. I mean, at a certain point, I literally had, I said this a second ago, my house is kind of, dirtier than I want it to be, you know? As a kid, it was more my room, but, that was a reason to kill myself. It's just, I just didn't like the state of my living arrangement, you know? I thought it was crappy, and that was making me feel crappy. And so, you write all this stuff down, or, you know what I mean? You have all the stuff in the pros list. And what this is now is, it's a list of shit you want to fix. It's a list of things that you can potentially solve to make yourself want to kill yourself less. You know? like with the cleaning the room. Your room's dirty and it's really bothering you? Just take 10 minutes to clean your fucking room. Sorry, this is going to be cursy, but deal with it. A bit late in the video to say that. But, you know what I mean? Just you now have this list. And I'm not saying some of the stuff on the list, you can't do anything about. You know? Some of the stuff on the list, is just stuff that you can't get rid of. And you know what? That's fine. You know? Leave it on the pros list. It's fine. Get rid of everything you can get rid of. That is a guide to solving your horrible thoughts. You know? And so that's what you do with the pro side, is you minimize it. You know? You have a list of things that you want to fix. And you know personally which ones you can and cannot fix. And then on the con side, write every single reason you can come up with not to, you know? And like the top of your list, I don't know, I can't speak for everyone, but for me was always like, the very number one point is, well, my friends and family would be very sad. And, you know, killing myself would be very selfish because, like, if you kill yourself, the odds of people around you killing yourself dramatically go up. And so, like, killing myself could potentially lead someone else to end up having suicidal thoughts and giving in, you know? And so, like, that is one point where it's like, that's, at least for me, that's my best point. But don't feel bad about having to need sillier things. Fill it with every single thing you can think of. I mean, like, if there's a show you're looking forward to that comes out in a couple weeks, a video game, you know, maybe the Saints are about to play. Sorry, I'm from Louisiana, so I'm rooting for the Saints. But like, maybe the Saints are gonna play and you want to see how that game turns out. Just anything at all you can think of. Just every little thing you're looking forward to and aspiring to be, just everything. Write it down. I mean, I am not going to lie. There was a point in college where, honest to God, the thing that stopped me from killing myself was the thought, I want to see the next season of Game of Thrones. In hindsight, maybe that wouldn't have been on my list. But at the time, it was. And at the time, it kept me from deading myself. You know? And that's what so you take this cons list and you use it as a list. So anytime you get suicidal, you know, and you're just like, I want to end it all, go down this list in your head. It would make my parents sad. Still feeling like that, or still considering doing it? Okay, what's the next point? You know, and just go down the cons list until you can calm yourself down, I guess, is the best phrase I can come up with. You know, step back from that ledge, my friend. That's actually kind of an old song. It's possible some people watching this will not know that that was just song lyrics I just stole. But that's fine. It was my original thought, probably. But like, just use the cons list as a stepping back, you know, mechanism. Use the pros list as a list of things to do to stop you from having the thoughts in the first place, and the cons list as a method of cooling yourself down whenever you really get into it, you know, whenever you're really feeling like nothing matters, you know, and just maintaining this list in your head as best as you can. And this is a list for you. So, as I've said, and as I keep saying, I don't care what's on it. If you don't care if your parents or family or whatever are going to be sad, okay, I'm not going to judge you for it. No one's going to judge you for it, and even if they do, fuck them. It's not for them. It's for you. You know? This is the thing where it's like, this list, be as selfish as possible. Actually think about it and actually put down why you want to die, why you don't want to die. And look at it and just have it. And just organizing your thoughts in that way, even in and of itself, is extremely helpful, at least for me. Just like having a mental list of things is just, and having them and actually being able to, instead of just feeling crappy and not really even being sure why, because that's how it always feels at first, is like I feel crappy and I couldn't even tell you why I feel crappy, I just do. But whenever you organize it, it's like you can point to, well, no, all this stuff has just been eating at me, and this is just the end result of it gnawing at me for so long without me doing anything about it. And so that's my main thing that I would suggest you do. At the very least, it's worked wonders for me. I would argue that is the main reason that I have made it to 24, almost 25, despite the fact that I've been on the edge since I was like 12, or since before I was 12, and like, I will say, I'm kind of done with that, but another big point I want to hit on is limit your access to means of killing yourself. Do not allow it to be easy. I am, to a certain degree, like a guns rights person. I'm from the South. As I said, I'm from Louisiana. I own 2 shotguns. They are not at my house right now. They are at my father's house, who lives an hour away. Because I do like shooting and stuff, but one, I live in the city, so it wouldn't be super helpful here. And it's one of those things where, like, I don't feel comfortable having access to an instant nope device. An instant bye-bye stick. I don't feel comfortable having access to that. Because I see it as an escape. I see it as a way out. Not all the time, but I know I can get to that dark place and be like, well, the end is a trigger away, So I don't let myself have easy access to it, So they're at my parents' house, and I don't know when I'll ever feel comfortable with them being at my own house. I really don't. It's possible never, but hopefully someday. And it's one of those things where if you own firearms or anything like that, get them out of your hands. Make it harder for you to make this decision. Even if it's something as simple as just like you can get like trigger locks or whatever, and like give one of your loved ones the key, to where like basically it's like only with their permission are you able to use the thing. And obviously that for some people that might feel a little degrading, but it's what you have to do, and just another base, like in my medicine cabinet, I have Tylenol and my depression medicine and vitamins. That's it. If I ate every single medicinal thing I had, I would have like an upset stomach and a trip to the hospital at worst, but I ain't dying, I'm just looking like a fool and gonna have to go to the store and buy all the shit again, Like, I don't have enough of that stuff to kill myself, to overdose, and it's just one of those things where it's like, just limit your access as much as you can. I mean, obviously, like if you live in an apartment and you're in like a very tall building, you can't really do anything about that. Maybe like put bars on your windows if that makes you feel more comfortable. Just like take as many steps as you can to just limit your access to suicide. Make it hard for yourself. Not because you feel crappy all the time, but because you know how crappy you can feel some of the time, and how, like, you'll just get to the point, like me, where I'm just, like, whispering, like, I want to die, just kill yourself, And I've fallen to sleep saying those words to myself before, just because for whatever reason, at least for me, just saying them is like so, it's weirdly comforting, you know? But like that kind of thing, it happens, you know, and you'll go to this dark place. And so you need to limit your access to the tools to get you to alleviate that feeling, you know? And I think those are my biggest things on how to not kill yourself. I think there's a lot of other things that I'll probably touch on in other videos, but I feel like those were just my big things. Honestly, the major thing for me, at least, is the checklist, because, as I said, like, I would definitely not be alive today if I hadn't come up with that system. And so I think that's my big thing. I think try to make that checklist yourself, you know, and if it helps you, well, I shouldn't say if it helps you. I think it will help you very much. It might not, but it's worth trying. And it's definitely saved my life a couple times, and hopefully it can save yours as well. But that's really it for this video. Thank you for watching. Sorry that I went on such a big hiatus. But it happens, and I'm just going to move past it, and you should just, you know, roll with the punches, so to speak. Don't let your depression beat you. And that's it for this video. Have a wonderful day, and I look forward to seeing you tomorrow.